course, we have a wonderful high standard of living as well.
Well, 100%. And just if you could, Mayor, could you take me off a speakerphone just because we're getting some feedback into the microphone?
Yep, I got you now. Sorry about that.
No worries. And, it's really just a great thing. I know that coming up is your guys' homecoming with rides, games. You got food, music, and a parade starting at 7 p.m. on Friday, July 11th and the 12th. That parade on the 12th is at 6 p.m. And, when you have events like this, what's it like in your position to see the community come together?
Well, it certainly is heartwarming. One of the things that we have going on here in Maryville, which a lot of people might not even know about, is everybody who participates in our parade and the majority of the homecoming, they're all volunteers.
Wow.
And so it is just people from the community who love Maryville, who want to give back to Maryville. And the funds that are raised from our homecoming, they go to our homecoming association, and those funds are used to purchase a lot of the equipment for our fire department. So our homecoming is more than just bringing the community together for one weekend. It really is a year-round event because of all the things that the Homecoming Association does.
That's just incredible. And honestly, right in the thick of the summer, too, when the families can get together. And also, like you said, just the volunteerism aspect of it, to have, volunteers from, sure, all different backgrounds coming in and being a part of this. And also just celebrating the village and also just community spirit. That's got to be such an important part of just the growth that you guys have, too. And I know that, Mayor, we were talking to Dawn Michelle with the Troy Chamber a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying that there's going to be a bandstand. Is that what I heard going into Maryville? Was I correct on that?
Yes, the actual term we're using is an entertainment pavilion. It's going to be somewhat similar, if you're familiar with the pavilion and stage area at the Old Herald in Collinsville, and or the one that is in the town square in Highland. And yes, that should be starting construction toward the end of July, maybe early August, and we hope to have it built and ready for acts, as early as spring of 2026.
Wow. Well, and honestly, that's going to be great to see and really just kind of perfect for what you guys are doing. And just because I break the ice on every first interview, I got to tell you this story because everyone always gives me crap for it. For the longest time, there was a typo in one of my event calendar listings, and I kept calling it Furman's Park for about a year and a half and was made fun of every day. I did. So I got to apologize now that I got the mayor on the line here, just to say I am sorry for botching that for almost 22 months.
Oh, it's okay. I think we can show you some grace on that.
Well, and I'm on the village's website, Mayor, and what I think's so cool is just this community calendar you have, where there's literally so much to do for, all ages, whether or not it's like an 18 or older event or it's something for the entire family. It's really cool to see this and really just to see the efforts being put in to really provide those opportunities.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Again, it really all goes back to the volunteerism. We do have a ton of volunteer committees who come together to make these events possible. Just this last Saturday, we had our annual kayaking event at Drost Park, and we have what is essentially different kayaking organizations from around the Metro East area, even across the river. They come in and they bring the kayaks to Drost Park, and then our volunteers from our Parks and Rec and some of the trustees, we come out, and people are able to get out on the water, many of them for the first time ever in a kayak, to air quote, dip their toe in the water. And we had over 160 participants, and they ranged in age from as young as 6 all the way up to over 80 years old. So it was a wonderful event. It was the 13th annual time that we had done it, and it's just another example of how our community comes together to give back.
It's just incredible. And, it's great to hear that, too, because we actually had this conversation a couple of weeks ago about, just giving more opportunities to maybe children and parents that are maybe younger that never, experience maybe some outdoor activities like kayaking and fishing and all these important aspects of life. And I just think it's really cool that you guys do that, especially with this. I saw that I wanted to ask you a little bit more about, if it's okay. And that's the backpack blowout that's coming down the pipeline August the 2nd from 8 a.m. to noon. This is really cool.
Yeah, again, I mean, what we're doing there is everything that we can to try to help kids to get their school supplies. And, what can we say? I mean, there's so many people that are in need, and we have the opportunity to give back. And so we really encourage everybody to come out, and if you're able to, help us out, because we want to make sure that all the kids are ready for the school year.
Absolutely. And then I also, how has the summer concert series been going for you guys?
Well, so far so good. We really haven't got too much on the radar as of yet, because we've had all of our other events going on, but they're about to kick off. We do have another, thing here in town that many people don't know about, but we have our farmers market every Thursday, and that's at Fireman's Park in Maryville. And during the farmers market, we have live music at all those events as well, and that's
cool.
From 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. every Thursday.
And that's really cool. And guys, if you're ever looking to say, CJ, how do we get to Fireman's Park? It's 300 North Donk Street, and you can just type that into your calendar. What I also think is cool is you have all the information, like the event sponsor information on how to reach out and learn more for all of you guys at the Village of Maryville's website, and you just click on the community calendar. It's a really great feature. And Mayor White, how since you've been in office, take me through just what you've been able to see in terms of growth and in terms of just overall success in Maryville.
Well, my tenure has been very short, to be honest with you. I only got elected 2 months ago.
Right.
However, I was a trustee here in Maryville for 6 years prior to being elected mayor. Mm-hmm. So, we have seen some substantial growth in terms of our more residential here in Maryville. We have some of the most beautiful homes in the entire Metro East, I would say. Our parks are absolutely beautiful. But we are starting to move more towards some economic development. We hope our business district runs right down Route 159. Everybody's familiar with it because we have the best frozen custard in planet Earth in Bobby's.
That's right.
and it's funny because no matter where I go in the country, if I say I'm from Maryville, Illinois, people might kind of look at me and I'm like, oh, but we have Bobby's, and like, oh, we know exactly what you're talking about. So, but no, we have a lot of fun stuff that it's in the hopper. Some things that are just kind of on the drawing board to develop our 159 business district. But one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is just all the infrastructure programs that are taking place here in Maryville. When things are underground, oftentimes they just go unnoticed. But infrastructure programs are every bit as vital as a business district. And right now, we're replacing our main sewer interceptor line that runs from Maryville to the treatment plant in Collinsville. And that's a project that's going to set us up for the next 50 years with a state-of-the-art sewer system. And a lot of communities don't have that. No. Not too long ago, we did major upgrades to our water treatment plant here in Maryville. And that puts us in a position that, we don't have to worry about things like that for a long period of time. So we can focus more on, our entertainment pavilion and our community events and things like that people love. Well,
and honestly, and that's what I think is so important too, because, Alton, where we're stationed, just had the sewer separation and all of those things. I mean, you hit it on the head. When we talk about growth, I think a lot of times just for, the public, me being part of it, it's, where's the next big building? And so much it's so much more important to really get the true infrastructure, the plumbing and all those important things that are done first before you build forward and build up. And Mayor White, that's what I was kind of getting at earlier, because we did the election night show, and remember, knowing that you were going to be in office, but 6 years being in local government, what was that transition like, from being a trustee to, taking over as mayor of Maryville?
Well, it's been quite a learning process. Prior to, being elected mayor, I had just retired after nearly 30 years as a police officer in Glen Carbon. And so as a police officer, there was, you have standard operating procedures, you have policies, and you have procedures that you could follow. As the mayor, it really is just, learning day to day. The biggest part that I would say that I love about the job that I have is just being able to interact with people.
Yeah.
And this is the community I love. This is where my wife and I raised our 3 children. I'm not going anywhere. This is the town that I live in and I plan to die in. And, these are, we have a small hometown feel. And so we're able to meet the needs of our community on a day-to-day basis.
100%. Mayor White, if it's okay, can we take a quick break and keep this conversation going after I pay some bills?
You betcha.
Awesome. Hey, we'll take a quick break here. 10:36, a little bit of change. It's 78 degrees in downtown Alton. More with Mayor White, the village of Maryville, right after this on RiverBender and Roku.
Oh no, another bad headache? Yeah. Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and it will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
How does it feel? How does it feel to be on your own with no direction home? A complete unknown, like a rolling stone.
Welcome back. More conversation awaits us with Mayor White in the village of Maryville, and we were talking during commercial break. And Mayor White, I'm really excited to talk more about this movie in the park event that it really has become such a cool and unique thing that you guys do.
Oh, well, I certainly appreciate the opportunity to talk about it. Yes, our next movie in the park that we have here in Maryville, it's just around the corner. It's going to be on Saturday, July 19th at dusk, and it's going to be held at Drost Park in Maryville. And what we do is we have a giant movie screen that gets set up. Actually, it's brought in by the owner of Edison's, and it's all HD. And the movie is going to be Moana 2. And so it's obviously a family-friendly movie, and it's free to the public. Just bring your lawn chairs. We provide Bobby's ice cream. We provide popcorn, and we're going to have a blow-up inflatable obstacle course for the kids to play at. And it's really what we're trying to do is bring back that spirit of the family drive-in, except we're doing it on a little bit smaller scale, but we're making it free to all families.
This is really cool. And for the folks that maybe can't make the 19th, I see that the 26th, you have Inside Out 2 at Movie in the Park. That last Saturday, I believe, of July.
Exactly. And yeah, the movies, they start at dusk. And so they're not too late that the kiddos can't stay up for the whole thing. And again, that's another family friendly movie, Inside Out 2. And what we want to do is just really, bring family and communities together. And this is an opportunity for us to do that. It's all put on by our Parks and Rec committee. And we just have the best volunteers of any community in the area, I would say. I mean, the village of Maryville could not function without our volunteer committees. And these people, they give their time, they give all of their effort for no pay whatsoever. And, you just really have to appreciate that.
Well, and that's what I think so cool, just hearing you discuss this a little bit and talking about the volunteers. I mean, that's something that not a lot of communities are blessed with. And it's the love where you live mentality that's really shining through.
That's spot on. Maryville, as I said before, we are just a family community. And, many of the people who live here in Maryville now, well, their parents lived in Maryville before them, and their parents lived in Maryville before them, because it's such a great town. People want to stick around, and they want to give back, whether it be through the Homecoming Association, the wonderful parade that we have at the homecoming, all the community events, as I stated before, like the movies in the park and our fishing derby that we have in the fall, our kayaking event that we have. It goes on and on and on. And if you don't mind, there's actually one other hidden gem I'd like to talk about.
Please do.
So many people don't know, but we actually have a wonderful museum right here in Maryville.
Wow.
It's our Maryville Heritage Museum, and it's open from 10 a.m. until noon on Saturdays, and it's what was the original fire station here in Maryville, and it's right down the street from Fireman's Park. A lot of people know one of our local establishment, Lyle's, and it's nestled in between Lyle's and the fire station, and the museum is just loaded with history of Maryville. And again, it's a volunteer committee that people just, they pour their hearts into it, but it really is like a time capsule of Maryville from the inception of the town all the way through the year 2025.
That's really cool. And honestly, we just pulled up the website, Maryville.com, and just taking a look at it. This is really just such a unique, number one, a unique site, but also just to learn more about your guys' history. And really, it's our region's history. This is really a unique experience.
Well, I appreciate that. Yes, it is. And I would encourage everybody, if you have the opportunity, come and visit the museum. There's some special hours for the museum. The weekend of homecoming. So right now it's open the first and third Saturdays of each month from noon until 2. Sometimes they actually open it from 10 a.m. to noon as well. It depends on what day, how the volunteers can do it. Mm-hmm. But the weekend of homecoming, we actually have special hours. And so we would encourage everybody, come out, check it out. It's really an opportunity for people to gain the history and learn the history of Maryville. And there's just some really, really neat stuff in there. Everything from our incredible tradition of baseball players that we've had here in Maryville to our veterans and our school buildings, our fire department. Most people probably know that Maryville was actually founded as a mining town. There was the Donk mines that sustained the majority of the people of this community. And so there's so much of the history of the Donk mines in there as well.
That's real. I mean, this is just fascinating. And if for more information, that website that's on your screen is MaryvilleILmuseum.com. And, going back to and just I love the pride in the history and really just being able to provide that for the community in the region. But, Mayor, I also saw this on the website, and I think this is such a cool thing. It's called the Good Neighbor Award program. And fill me in on this.
Yes, it's funny you should mention that, because we're actually presenting the Good Neighbor Award, 3 of them tomorrow night at our village board meeting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just another opportunity to show appreciation for people who go above and beyond to be kind and do things for the village. And the way that works is one of our committees, it's the Maryville Improvement Board Committee. They came up with the idea, and if someone in the community recognizes a person who's made a substantial impact and just does something out of the goodness of their heart as a Maryville resident, they can be nominated for the award, and then the committee, they vote on it, and the awards are given out. The ones that were given out tomorrow, 2 females from our community, out of the goodness of their heart, decided to do a food drive, and they were able to I raised like 6 full minivans full of non-perishable foods, and they donated it back to our food pantry. So they're going to be recognized. Another one who's going to be recognized tomorrow was a young man who did his Eagle Scout project right here in Maryville.
Wow.
He built bee hotels, and they were put up out in Dros Park next to our garden. And what they do is they attract honeybees, and those honeybees then fertilize the plants and the flowers that are in our garden. And so he did that for his Eagle Scout project. And then the last group is an actual Girl Scout group that came out, and they did a cleanup project right here on our Village Hall properties. And so, yeah, we're going to recognize all those people for their good efforts, and just, you know, it's a small way of showing appreciation for people who go above and beyond.
Well, and especially for, you know, for everyone that's involved, it's great recognition, because when you're acknowledged by your community, it really does something for you. But for the young people too, to say, hey, your community's recognizing you, that's a really big incentive to stay.
I agree with you 100%. You know, there's one thing that I'm truly passionate about. It's giving a pat on the back to people who volunteer and want to do things out of the goodness of their heart, because oftentimes people who are volunteers, they kind of go unnoticed and unrecognized, and they still give, but I think it goes a long way to just show that you really appreciate people for what it is they do.
100%. And one last thing, just because I want to make sure we ask, and maybe we can help you out today. Are you still looking for a building and zoning code enforcement assistant?
Well, yeah, we do currently have an opening and we're taking applications for another week or so. So yeah, if there's anybody out there who's got skills and talents that they think will be applicable for that type of position, please, visit our website and fill out an application, and hopefully, it'll be a good fit. There's no better place to work than the Village of Maryville.
100%. I just saw it and figured, we're already going down the gauntlet. Let's throw this one in there too. And Mayor, going back to July 11th and the 12th, this is obviously a big weekend for Maryville. And, with this being your first year in your mayoral tenure, I'm sure it's got to be exciting for you to, as always, to see this take place. Now, take me through Maryville homecoming, the Maryville Fire Department homecoming. What type of fun are we going to have here?
Oh, wow. It's going to be a great weekend. Our theme this year is Looney Tunes. And so the theme of the parade is going to be based around cartoon characters. We're always looking for more people who want to participate and, get a float in the parade that would be themed like a cartoon character. My wife and I, we're excited because we're going to be in the parade ourselves both nights. And then after the parade, which is always a wonderful event, I mean, there's just so much for families to do. Everything from carnival rides to, I'm also a member of our Maryville Kiwanis Club. We have a cakewalk that is always a big hit, because there's nothing that seems to put a smile on a kid's face quite like getting a cake after they put 50 cents down. And of course, we have all our different vendors with food and drink, and the music that we have is always outstanding. We're having Shotgun Creek one night, and then, our local hero, Scott Marlin and his group, they're going to be on the Saturday night. So, yeah, there's something for everybody at our Maryville homecoming.
Well, and honestly, Mary, this looks just like a lot of fun. And folks, if you're driving in your car, or you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts later, or watching it, July 11th, that parade on Friday night starts at 7 p.m. On Saturday, the 12th, it starts at 6 p.m. And then those Friday bands, those two, 5 to 7 p.m. And then Blue Marlin takes center stage, 8 p.m. to midnight. And man, you're right. I mean, no shortage of great music. You got the Heaton Brothers on Saturday, 4 to 6, and then the one, the only, and that's Shotgun Creek. They're playing 8 to midnight too. This is awesome.
Yes, we're like I said, we're super excited about it. And one of the reasons, as you mentioned earlier, you asked me about the entertainment pavilion, is that we have really tried hard to raise funds for our pavilion. Is so when we have our homecoming like this, and we have these great bands like Shotgun Creek, and we have Blue Marlin, and they're bringing big crowds of people in. Right now, we actually have to bring a stage in and get it set up from the outside, and then tear it down the day after. once we get our permanent stage built, we won't have to worry about that anymore. It'll be state of the art. Everything will be right there. It'll be a permanent stage and entertainment pavilion, and it'll just make things so much easier when we have concerts in the park and our homecoming.
100%. I can't wait to see it, completed, Mayor, and really just excited to talk with you the next couple of years in your tenure and further beyond that. And is there anything else we need to discuss right now?
No, I would just say, please, if everybody has the opportunity, come out and enjoy our homecoming and all the other events that we have here in Maryville. Come visit Maryville. We are a welcoming community. We love people both who live in Maryville and people who live outside of Maryville. There's going to be a lot more great things to come in the future. If you haven't been to our town yet, well, and it's hard for me to believe that you haven't because, as I said before, we do have Bobby's Frozen Custard. But if you haven't, make sure you come and see us because we'd love to visit with you.
Oh, I was going to say one, but if you haven't, what are you doing? Come on, guys. You're making me look bad here. No, with that being said, Mayor White, it really was a pleasure talking to you. The best of luck with the homecoming. I hope everything goes well. And then if you have anything else you want to promote, just hop on the show, fill us in about Maryville. You're more than welcome to do so at any time.
Oh, thank you so much. And I just pray that everybody has a wonderful 4th of July weekend and that nobody loses any fingers or toes. Enjoy the fireworks, but from a distance, stay safe and appreciate the fact that we live in the greatest country in the world. 1,000%.
Mayor White, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir. You have a blessed day.
You too. We'll take a quick break. More Daily Show as we wrap up this Tuesday morning. It happens next after a longer break.